The collapse of an illegal gold mine in Mali that claimed the lives of over 40 people, mostly impoverished women, is not just another tragic accident. It is an indictment of a system that thrives on exploitation and greed, with both local and global players complicit in the ongoing devastation. Mali is one of the world's leading gold producers, yet its people remain among the poorest. The country's riches have not translated into prosperity for its citizens, but have instead become a source of suffering, instability, and environmental destruction. Saturday's mine collapse near Kenyaba is just the latest example of how the pursuit of wealth by the government, foreign corporations, and desperate individuals turns deadly. The victims in this disaster weren't even working in an official mine. They were scavenging in pits left behind by industrial mining operations, trying to eke out a living from the scraps left in the wake of corporate exploitation. They weren't miners in any formal sense. They were casualties of a broken system that forces women, some with children strapped to their backs, to risk their lives for flecks of gold. The collapse occurred at a site formerly operated by a Chinese mining company, underscoring yet another layer of exploitation. Beijing has aggressively invested in Mali's resource sector, leaving behind not only environmental ruin, but a debt trap for the Malian government. China's presence in Africa is often framed as development and partnership, but in reality, it is resource extraction at its most ruthless, with little regard for local safety, environmental protection, or long-term economic stability. But let's not pretend that China is the sole villain here. Western mining companies, including Canada's Barrick Gold, are engaged in their own financial battles with the Malian government. The recent seizure of $245 million in gold bars from Barrick highlights a deeper tension. Who really owns Mali's resources? Certainly not its people. While the Malian government feuds over profits and foreign investors continue their plunder, ordinary Malians are left with nothing but dangerous, abandoned pits, open graves waiting for the desperate. This is the second deadly mine disaster in 3 weeks, but it won't be the last. The truth is that unregulated mining in Mali isn't just an economic issue, it's a humanitarian crisis. The Malian government has allowed industrial miners, both Chinese and Western, to dig deep, extract wealth, and leave behind destruction. When the corporations leave, the people move in, driven by poverty, and often with no other means to survive. With no safety regulations, no oversight, and no regard for human life, these abandoned sites turn into mass graves. Instead of addressing these preventable deaths, the government's response has been weak at best. A spokesperson for the mines ministry merely confirmed the accident and declined to give further details. What a pathetic excuse for accountability. These deaths will continue unless there is a fundamental shift in Mali's approach to mining. That means enforcing safety regulations, cracking down on illegal mining networks that exploit the poor, and ensuring that Mali's gold wealth benefits its people, not just corrupt elites and foreign investors. The international community is equally responsible. Western corporations and China alike must be held accountable for their environmental and economic destruction. Mining companies shouldn't be able to operate, extract, and abandon sites without ensuring the land is rehabilitated and that local communities aren't left in extreme poverty. If nothing changes, the headlines will continue to report on more mine collapses, more bodies, and more devastation. But the real tragedy? The world will just move on. Because these lives, these deaths, and this suffering are seen as just another cost of doing business. Pascal Mukasa, my independent commentary for Skilling's Mining Review.